Hi, Angelyse. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. You know, I met you a couple weeks ago, and I feel the pleasure to see you starting your music career and like where you're at. It's fun for me because I know you're going to be successful.
Aw.
So I want to get everything documented before you start your career. So Angelyse Mariah, where did the Mariah came from?
So the Mariah actually came from it was I believe it was one of my dad's friends that gave the idea to my mom because she was obsessed with Mariah Carey.
Oh,
So they were like, why isn't her middle name Mariah?
interesting. So,
Yeah.
and what's funny is you didn't start at a young age singing, right? There's something that started evolving when you were getting older, and now you are an artist, which kind of reference to Mariah Carey a little bit there, right?
Yeah, right. Like I've always liked to sing, so it's funny because I feel like I've been singing my whole life, but I didn't get good at it until maybe around 5th grade. So that's like around 10 years old.
Okay.
I remember I asked my parents to like perform at the talent show.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to sing so bad, and my mom was like, "No."
No.
She was like, "You're
Not
gonna
happening.
dance." And
So
she,
that's
like,
why you're a dancer as well, right?
yeah. Well, I've always been dancing too. I started dancing at like 3 years old. I started with like ballet. But she just thought that I was better at dancing at the time than singing. So she like choreographed my first little dance routine to perform at the talent show.
Nice.
And then I did that like every year, a new dance routine until 5th grade, where she finally let me sing.
And you just wow them out of the park there.
They were just like, oh, like she can kind of sing. And then they put me in vocal lessons right after that.
Very supportive parents. But before we get to that part, who is Angelyse? Like, I don't know you. A lot of people watching this maybe don't know you. Show them who you are.
I feel like that's such like a
Cliche question?
existential question. Like I'm only 19. Like I'm like fresh 19 April. Like I turned. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
but you
I
tell
really,
stories with your music. Like,
Right.
there's power inside the words that you're saying.
Right.
Why is it that's so important to you to write your own songs, and on top of that as well, like, you know, be a good performer, because you're a performer all around.
Yeah. Well, I think the performing is what came always natural to me. I've done so many performances, like musicals and just talent shows growing up. And, you know, I've been in like, you know, the industry for acting for a really long time. So performing is just something I really grew up with. But the telling my own stories through the music is something that I'm learning how to do, like, you know, like in live in front of everybody.
So right now, so when you wrote your first song?
Yeah. So my first song happened by accident.
Really?
I mean, I knew I was going to write it, but it was more of like I met this girl like at school at this program that I did for music. She was a producer. She sent me a beat during lockdown, and she was like, "Oh, I would love for you to write on it." And I was like,
Because you were going to art school, right?
I was doing like this program at NYU while I was in high school for music. And I met this girl, and she sent me a beat over lockdown, and she was just like, "I want you to write on it." And I was like, "Okay." Never written a song before by myself. I did it. I sent her a voice memo on my phone. And then maybe a couple days later, she's like, "Okay, well, I just uploaded it to Apple Music and Spotify. It's going to be out in like a week or 2.
Wow.
And I was just like, "Oh." Like,
so that's what started you, and you're like, "Oh, I could do this."
well, it was just more of like, she just put it out, and I wasn't like expecting her to. And then I was just like, well, I guess it's out. Like I have my own artist profile now on like Apple Music and Spotify.
That's great.
And
Which,
then,
you can play her music in Apple, Spotify, and
it was
YouTube.
that was my first song ever, Hurting Yourself. And then from there, like surprisingly, like people started reaching out, you know, to me or my parents to like come check out different studios. And then that's how I met, you know, the producer that I work with now and the studio that I go to now. And then there, a couple months later, I recorded Like Me.
So let's do some timeline here.
Right.
When was it that you recorded your first song on your iPhone? Because it was in the iPhone, right?
Right, yeah. I think Hurting Yourself came out maybe January, February, what is that, last year, 2021, I think.
Okay, and then now you have about 4, 5 studio songs recorded?
Yeah. Well, I have like 5 studio songs recorded.
And so that's been over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And we're talking about productions, not just like we got in front of a mic and we started recording something.
I think like almost every song that I've gone and recorded, I finished and have uploaded to Apple Music, like in Spotify, like in real time, like Hurting Yourself was the first one. Like Me was the second song I've ever written. Baddest Advice is the third song I've ever written.
Wow.
And it just like keeps going like that. Like I had no gaps in between. I just recorded the full thing and just.
Because you're, besides you learning how to write, you're learning how to tell your stories and make people feel them. So why is it so important for you to the lyrics, write them down and on point, have the right harmony? I mean, I was in the studio with you the other day and you guys are locked down to every bit of the song.
Right.
What is like your inspiration to go to that level?
Well, I think it's just honestly from me being really obsessed with music growing up. Like I was always just that type of person that like I had to listen to music throughout the day, like walking through the hallways or going to school. But I would listen to like the layers of the music. Like I would just like listen to everything that was put into it. And I really found that fascinating. So then now, years later when I'm making my own music, I get really like deep into it because I listen to those. Like I look for the layers for that. I listen to like the right things to add in. But I definitely do think that like for me, I have like a better ear than like I'm still learning how to translate it. Like I don't know how to do production stuff yet, but the writing is definitely, I don't know. It's like something that I'm still learning. It's an evolving skill. Like I'm still not there yet.
That's what makes it fun, right? That's why you go into the studio. We did a video that you posted not that long ago where you're like, you were having fun with recording, finishing your song. I think you finished it that day, right? And now it should be already on the platform. So if you guys want to listen to it, shout yourself out real quick. Shout yourself out.
I don't have a release date yet, but Compliments is coming out very, very soon. So I think before this podcast is out, I definitely will have a release date, but it'll be coming out sometime this month.
So what do you do in a day-to-day? Like, what is a day of Angelyse like? Like, if I were to follow you for 24 hours, which is kind of creepy, but what is a 24-hour day for you?
I feel like it's changes like throughout. I don't know. It's different every day. I do like to start out my day like if I have the time or if I remember, I would like to meditate. I feel like that like helps me center myself and just like gets me in line with like the goals that I want to achieve for that day or in general. I do like to manifest a lot.
Me too.
Yeah, I love to manifest. I have like my crystals and stuff, so I'll write down like the same stuff that I have for like the past year and like the same exact things.
Yes.
And then also like my mom likes to give me like self-help books. So right now I forgot what book I'm reading, the name of the book I'm reading right now, but I'm reading this book that my mom gave me. And it's like a self-help book, and I'll read maybe like 10 minutes of it a day at least. And then I'll try to work out every day. Like I like to either just go to the gym and like do weights.
Well, you currently have an active dancing career, so
yeah, that's a lot of cardio. I'm trying to like balance it out.
Right? So a lot of you're doing your music, and at the same time, you're having a dancing career. Like
so depending on what day it is, I'll have like rehearsal later that day. Rehearsals can be like 3 hours at a time, 3-4 hours, no water break. It's really rigorous.
Well, I've seen videos that you send, for us to put in the thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How you guys are, you mess up, back on the top. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. Or like, especially my dance coach, like we'll do the whole routine full out. And then he'd be like, all right, cool. Like, now 100 jumping jacks, then 100 squats, then do the whole routine over again, nonstop, no breaks. If you throw up, like you gotta like do 100 more jumping jacks.
Oh wow! But I mean that's what it takes to be a performer at that level.
Yeah.
If when you get to the highlight of your career, you're gonna be in that position where you're gonna perform all these shows and you need to be able to handle it, right?
Yeah. Right. Well, so like actually yesterday I had my first like rehearsal for my upcoming like performance. I have like a music festival that I'm performing at, Latin Fest in Carteret.
Nice.
And I'm like one of the headliners. I have like a 30-minute set, and we're like, all right, like we really gotta like do this. So I had a 3-hour rehearsal yesterday, and it was just really fun. But like you need stamina. Like you need to be physically fit to like like dance and sing at the same time. Like I was so tired after.
That's true, because you're running around, but at the same time you got to keep your tones, your
vocals, keep your voice,
everything.
Right? You got to like perform, express, like, you know what I'm saying, connect with people, but like make sure you don't sound like
half of the time. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
So I know. Give me a little snippet. Don't give me too much of what we're gonna see on stage that day. Because if you warmed up yesterday or did the rehearsal yesterday, you already have an idea of what we're gonna see.
Oh my gosh, it's actually funny. The like Compliments is the 1st song we started out with, and we fully choreographed. But I mean, I don't want to give out too much. You guys might just have to come see the show.
So the show is gonna be in
Carteret.
Carteret. What day? Saturday, January.
Saturday,
January. Saturday,
July 30th. I will be performing at 8:15.
A night?
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good time.
That's a good slot, right?
That's a very good slot.
We were just saying that yesterday. We were like, that's a good slot.
And in front of who?
Oh, right in front of Frankie Negron.
Imagine that, right? Your first performance and in front of Frankie Negron.
That's crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job. And that means you put in the work, and that's important. I know as an artist, there's a lot of people who say, I want to be an artist, right? But something that I know her a little more than what we talk about here right now, but because I heard your story, I know that you've been working for this since you were 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
You were telling me that your parents have always supported you.
Right.
They have always driven you into the city, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of work for you to get here today, right?
So much. Like, it's crazy because I still feel like, I'm really young, but like I forget how long I've really been doing this. Because, starting out with dance at like 3 years old, I wasn't just going, once or twice a week. Like I was going a lot. Like I was studying modern, lyrical. I did jazz, tap, hip hop. And I did that. I did competition teams. My parents would be driving me on top of sports like every day. But starting with my acting and everything that happened in 5th grade, my dad took me to my first ever audition where I got signed by a manager.
Wow.
And from there, like they would drive me, like the countless hours I spent in that car, like getting to New York, waiting in line, like learning my scripts. It's crazy. Like, and I went to performing arts high school, so it's just like so much.
So let me ask you a question: as a starting artist, right? Because for you feel like you're starting, right?
Right. Yes, because I feel like I'm starting, yeah.
Right, but you've been doing this for so long.
Right.
As a kid, there's a lot of young people that listen to your music. You're hitting that market. What do you think is the key to reach that everything you have reached so far? Besides having a dad like Eric, who's you could do it.
Yeah.
But besides that, and having a mom that is supportive,
right.
What is it that takes you to go and perform, go do everything, even when sometimes it doesn't work?
Yeah. I think, honestly, the biggest thing I can say to people that, like, are even trying to do what I'm doing or, like, being in that field or just want to follow their dreams in general, is just not really caring too much about what people say about it, because no matter what, like being a kid and like having very aspirational dreams like that, like kids are gonna, kind of talk down or be like, oh, why does she think this? She can do all that. Like that's so much.
Which is part of compliments, people.
Yeah, it actually is.
It's part of compliments.
Yeah, I had to grow up with that a lot. I feel like I had to, like, there was a point in time where I felt like I had to make myself feel smaller, like not talk about my dreams or like things I wanted to do for my career.
Because the people around you didn't understand it.
Like, yeah, it was more of that. And I just had to learn, you have to have really tough skin to like be so adamant about your dreams at such a young age, because people would be like, oh, you're so young, like you don't have to worry about that right now, or like she's crazy, or they'll just say all that stuff and kind of just downplay you because of your age. Yeah. And you have to really learn to just not listen to it.
So that's what's great about you, and I admire that you work every day for your music, and you also work not only music but performing arts, right? You're all over. So acting, I know, is one of your dreams. Like, what have you give me some information about that. Where we at? What we're doing?
So I started acting maybe like in elementary school. I forgot what age. I like did a little theater play like at school. Then I did like a musical next, and then I remember I started doing summer camp. Just like the high school, doing musicals in the summer. So like that's where I started doing that, like doing acting. And then 5th grade, when my dad took me and I got my first managers, when I started kind of getting more into like the commercial aspect of it. And so all throughout middle school, that's what I kind of did. I did a lot of commercial work.
Okay. So you've been in commercials.
Yeah, I like most of my acting career like consists of like a lot of commercials.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah.
But I wanted something like more fulfilling. Like I didn't want to just do commercials. I want to like have lines and like be a character.
Yeah.
So then
Imagine Friends, you being in Friends, that'd be great. That'd be
well,
great.
my dream show to be in is like Euphoria. Like I love Euphoria.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But it wasn't until like freshman or sophomore year of high school where I got my first like role in a TV show for like an episode.
Nice.
So one of the characters from Orange is the New Black was like my mom in this show. But it was cool. That was like a really cool experience. Like,
that's what I was gonna ask you. Give me some details. Like, not everybody lives that, right?
Yeah.
They see those 10 seconds, 15, 20, a minute. I don't know how long you were on it.
Yeah.
But they see that, but they don't know behind the scenes how much work it takes.
Well, like so a lot of people don't know that, like how long it really takes to film a scene, like on a TV show, depending the budget and how big the show, what show it is. So what my scene was really short. But I was there for like an entire like half a day.
Imagine that.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was not even a full episode.
How many takes?
Oh, so many. Like you I don't even know how many takes, but it's just cool to go there. Like you go where we were at. It was like this huge warehouse. Like one of my favorite things about acting.
Where was this?
It was in New Jersey. Was it New Jersey or New York? It was in Queens.
Nice.
Yeah, but one of the best things about like being an actor like on set though, I will always say is the food. Like they always have good catering. Like I don't know why the catering is so
cool.
good. Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, we just came to like this big warehouse. There was like this huge food spread, and then like they took me to like my own room, and they were just like, I was like,
you got makeup done, hair done.
Yeah, well, I love getting my hair and makeup done on set. Like it's so much fun. But like having my first like role with like a name on it where I was a character. I had like my own dressing room. I had like my own like.
So you got to experience, even though it was a short, whatever
it
it was,
cool.
You got to experience what you're working for.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, you're gonna get that with music videos. Maybe, who knows, you might come out in a Hollywood movie at some point. So it's cool that your experience is such a young age. I know you keep saying that, but you experience everything because of all the work you did. Since you were young.
Yeah.
So it's like you've been doing. You didn't start your music career a year or 2 years ago.
I just started it. I think like my thought process was more of like, I've always known I wanted to do music, and that was always a goal of mine. I like didn't know where to start, and acting kind of like was like taking most of my time anyways. So now that like acting kind of slowed up, I'm like, you know what, let me try
because
music.
it was COVID that helped you to slow it down, because you couldn't get together to film anything, so it gave you the opportunity.
Yeah, the COVID was dead. I had I wasn't working for the whole time, getting no auditions. So it was more in my head like, all right, what is gonna take me there first? Like I can dance, I can act, I can sing, but like let's see which one takes me.
Yeah, and then you started doing music. What is your influence for music? Like who do you get? I like her. She inspires me to make music, or he. Who knows?
So hard. Because I love too many people to like just be like it's one.
You know that quick right here. I'm that guy who wakes up to listen to. You probably won't know Julio Iglesias this morning. Yeah. Or maybe I listen to Maná in the afternoon, and at night on my way home I listen to Bad Bunny or El Alfa.
You guys are just all only Latin.
No, but wait, and then I will go to Eminem.
Oh yeah.
So I love music like you. Right. I used to be the kid who worked down the hallway listening to music, not talking to anybody. Yeah. I used to be the kid who knew every single lyric of a song. Me like too. You can tell me a song and I'll sing it for you. Right. So funny enough, I was also interested in the music career. I didn't get people so supportive around me, so I gave it up. Right. So that's why I'm so proud that you have that support system.
I always say that, like, because I right now this is the first time I've kind of really been completely surrounded by a lot of creative people. I've never had this many creative people around me until maybe like after high school. And I see that, like, they always like talk about it, or like their family.
And everybody's always giving you like, maybe you should do this. So that inspires you for something else.
Right. Well, it wasn't always like that.
I know.
I feel like now this is the most I've probably ever been supportive, like outside of my family. Yeah. Because it was never, ever like that. Well,
you're with people who want to do the same thing and achieve the same goal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is the first time I've been around like creative people like that.
Me too, sort of.
Yeah.
when before I started making videos, so I have always made music. You know, I edit photos. I've been good with social media, but I saw Casey Neistat. He was a YouTuber from New York.
Oh yeah, I know who he is. He's a huge everybody knows who Casey.
And I was like,
is.
whatever the hell he's doing,
I'm
gonna do it. So I decided to move to New York. I decided to start blogging in the streets in the city. So I have videos, and then look where we're at, right? I didn't think I will have this 2 years ago. So imagine 2 years from now, you, me, everybody, imagine where you will be if you continue to be consistent and continue to work. Back to the inspiration part. If you want to do this, you got to be consistent. You got to believe in your dreams, and you got to believe in yourself. Like she does, like I do. Like everybody who achieves something, we believe in something. So your inspiration to music again?
I'm like, oh, that's so hard. Because like, I really do listen to so many different types of music. Like I'll listen to alternative, then I'll listen to like, you know, electronic, and then hip hop, and then R&B. Like surprisingly,
still love Usher baby.
I make pop music, but surprisingly, I don't listen to that much pop anymore. I used to be a huge Ariana Grande fan. Like I think, obviously, you can kind of hear that inspiration a little bit in my music, but
in compliments, you could definitely hear it.
Right, that was my first artist that I became like obsessed with. I feel like everybody has that one artist, and so for me, when she kind of was in her rise, before she was really like mainstream, but she was just coming.
Oh, so you're listening from Ariana Grande from the beginning?
From the beginning, because her first album, Yours Truly, it came out 2013. I was in middle school. Wow. So I remember being so obsessed with that first album, then the second one, third one. Like, I'm not as big as like a fan as I was before. Like, I was obsessed with her. I knew everything that she did. But yeah, like in the beginning, I was super obsessed with it. That's all I listened to. I used to wear cat ears to school. Like I would dress like her.
For me was maybe Daddy Yankee, Don Omar. Like those were my high school
Right.
Wisin Yandel, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I was in the prime. That was my high school days. I used to freaking cry with the music. Yeah. But you know, Usher, all that. I understand you at 100%. And then do you pick inspiration from those different genres?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I feel like everything that I listen to, I kind of, you know, put into my music. So like, for example, a big inspiration for me, more like vocally in terms of like,
Usher, baby. I just have Usher right now in my mind. I don't know why.
In terms of like, maybe like the way her cadence, like the way that she says stuff. When I go into the booth, I think about Rihanna, and I think about Bitch You Better Have My Money, Rihanna.
Oh wow!
Because I feel like you can give that song to so many people, and it would sound completely different.
No, just the attitude, and
know me when you know.
And she went in the she went on the song.
Attitude. Like, so that's what I listen to, and I think of when I go into the booth. Yeah. But then I love Kate Trinata, great like DJ from Montreal.
Love what you're saying
I
right now.
love Kate Trinata. I love, you know, Beyonce for her performance and J-Lo for the performance, because Beyonce was the first performer that I really saw. Like, she was the performer I kind of grew up with in my childhood. You know, I'm too young. Like, Michael Jackson died when I was younger. So it was her. Yeah. And every show that she put on, the halftime show, like, she's obsessed amazing. With. So her, then I'm like, oh, geez, there's too many artists. Like, I like Brent Faiyaz. I like Drake. I like, you know, Ariana Grande's, like, older stuff. I love, you know, Kalani.
Everything you're saying is amazing to my ears. But the reason why, and I'm going to break it down for a little bit, is you listen to people who are, you know, who are firm in their music industry, and they have their style. Right. So by that, you're trying to, it's crazy because I see now why when you're in the booth, you go into that character. Like, if they look at the videos that we've been making, of you in the studio, you are in the song. Yeah. The song is not in you. You're in the song. You're like, this is how this is supposed to sound. I'm supposed to say this like this. Yeah. And you're in there. Yeah. And you can see your soul, like, part of the music, which is amazing. Not a lot of people can do that. People record music, but not a lot of people can do that. No, I know, but if we look at your pictures.
If we want to bring it back. Right. If we want to bring it back to like my first,
Eric is here, and he's he's remembering when she was a baby. He was putting, 50 Cent.
No, right? No, I remember. Look, if you want to talk about like the stuff that I grew up with, I grew up with so many different types. Like I remember one of my first like favorite songs was a Mark Anthony song, Aguanile.
Wow. Which one?
Aguanile.
Oh wow, what a song!
I loved that song. I don't know why. Like that was my first song that I remember really
what
liking.
A song!
And
Wow.
then so 50 Cent. I would hear so much Biggie. I would hear
Brooklyn, no other way.
Yeah, I would hear but like back then it was okay. We listened to a lot of R. Kelly. I remember watching all the tracks.
I like how she stopped.
Yeah. Remember it was like the 2000s.
We're behind, where everything came out. Not right now.
It was the 2000s, but I remember like the first music videos I saw were Trapped in the Closet, and I was so like intrigued by like how different they were. And I remember that. I remember a lot of Mary J. Blige.
Music was so different back then.
Yeah, I remember all of that, and I always say this though, like, because my dad put me onto a lot of music like early on, and so I was put onto Frank Ocean like the earliest kid my age. I was listening to Channel Orange when it first came out because of my father, and I was like in 5th grade when that album came out, and then nobody knew who he was, and I tried to show my friends, and they were like, "What is that?" And then in high school, they were like, "Yo, Frank Ocean is so fire." And I'm like, my dad put me on. Nicki Minaj, I remember he got the Pink Friday album, and I loved that album.
So you always been into music?
Yeah.
Question, did you have a car with a bumping car system?
No, that was my older brother. My older brother had a speaker on wheels.
We had the Ford Explorer.
So the question is, you guys, your brother will go home to your house, and she will listen to Biggie on the speaker on wheels.
It would be 50 Cent. It would be 50. I remember in Florida, like 50 Cent blasting in the car. Like,
so you have a lot of music inspiration.
And that's also like she grew up in Florida. Early years was in Two Live Crew, like that boom bap, Hot 99 Jams kind of stuff. So we had that, and then there was a lot of Latin music in Florida.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You got Cuba all the way there.
And now we moved back to New York, to New Jersey, where we got more of the hard like R&B.
Yeah, we love jazz in the
when
house.
When I want to relax, that's what I put.
Or like doing work. I used to listen. I
had to sleep with smooth jazz.
They got me into jazz. I love Frank Sinatra. Like I love so many people like Whitney, Frank Sinatra.
Whitney Houston. Wow.
I like the Mamas and the Papas, the Beatles. Like I love all that.
So you're basically influenced by all genres of music.
Because I feel like
music is inspiration for you.
There's always good music in every genre. Like some people are like, oh, country. Like no, I can't.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish I lived in New York in the 90s and the 2000s.
I don't know if I'd say that.
I know what you're saying, but I mean the reason why is there was so much music culture.
There was so much music.
You could enjoy the different type, all tastes.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish I got to live in New York before COVID.
Oh wait, what
Because I moved to New York for school in September,
and then COVID happened like a couple months.
Well, no, COVID happened before I went to. Because remember, COVID happened like 3 years ago, technically. So that was like,
we're still in this thing, so it's like
right. So when COVID hit, I was like the end of my junior year of high school.
Oh, so you graduated?
I graduated still like. When COVID was like leaving, kind of, we had masks at graduation.
You didn't get to enjoy
but
New York properly.
Yeah, so then I moved to New York in September, and it was still like post-COVID.
Everybody still wanted social distancing.
It was more everything. Like I could tell it wasn't the same. Like going in so early, like from an early age, like 3-4 times a week. Like I saw what New York was. Like I knew what it was, and it was not the same. But a lot of people are saying that it feels the same way that it did more in the 90s or early 2000s in terms of like crime.
Oh yeah.
Because it wasn't as bad until like January. But I'm like, damn, like I got to move to New York and I'm like here when it's not really the same.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to live there. Like it's been my dream to live there.
Yeah. I moved to New York in 2018. I got to experience it.
Oh yeah. Right before it. Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying at 100%.
Yeah. Wait, what part of New York did you live in?
All over. So.
Oh, you kept moving?
I kept moving because I used to live in my family's houses. So if you want to hear a quick like 5 second of my story, I just told my mom one day I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in DR anymore.
Uh-huh.
We came to the United States in 2004 to Florida. 2004 and left 2010 because my mom wasn't going to stay illegal, so her visa expired. They had a work visa, and then I could never fit in DR. 2010, graduated high school. In my mind, I was in, I don't know what country I was. I think I was in South Africa. Like, I don't know, because for me, it couldn't align because I was ready for the United States.
Right.
So when I came, I used to come back and forth, and at one point I was like, Mom,
I'm just saying,
I can't do this anymore. And then I came. So my family, I have family in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx.
Oh, so you
I
lived
stayed
there.
4 months in Brooklyn, 4 months in Queens, and 4 months in the Bronx.
Nice.
But every single day, I will get home at 10. I'll leave at 7, get home at 10, go to work. I had a job. But when I got out of work at 6, I used to go walking all over New York.
Oh, like in Manhattan?
Yes. So I West 4,
Oh, yeah.
Washington Square Park.
Have you ever had that 99-cent pizza on West 4th Street?
Yes.
That is my favorite pizza.
Yes.
That is my favorite pizza.
Another thing, you see in the...
Yes.
Yes.
That it's like
amazing.
the true dollar slice, because now the dollar slices are like $3 in New York. That one stayed $1.
Well, then that one, I wouldn't eat it right now at $1.
No, but it is the best pizza.
But there's
It
a
is
pizza,
the best
Joe's Pizza in
No,
the park.
you
Hey, that
like
one's
Joe's?
3. That's like 3, 4 something.
That's like a $5 slice.
Is amazing.
No, it is not.
I go to the city just to drink.
No, you're
It's
a
amazing.
Joe's person?
Yes.
No, that's
And
how I
then-
could tell you're really from DR then.
And then, and then
No.
see, there's a guy, and by the way, I don't know. Whenever you can, go to Washington Square Park.
I go there all the time.
Okay, there's a guy that plays the piano.
Yeah,
Have you ever gone underneath?
No,
While he's
underneath the
playing?
piano? No.
My God, you're missing out.
I wouldn't.
I did a whole video about him.
You went on the floor and you went underneath the piano?
I didn't go that day, but one day I did. I didn't film it because I was filming him.
Right.
So what he does is he tells people, I'm gonna play this song.
Yeah.
And if you want to lay down to experience, you're gonna experience music different. It's true. You lay down and you close your eyes, you get immersed.
Yeah.
It's a grand piano. He
Right.
literally, there's the New
Yeah,
York.
because he's like right with the walkway.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So New York Times did a whole story with him too.
Oh, really?
Where he literally carries that piano to a garage that he has near,
Like, oh wow, he carries that every day.
and brings it back and opens it and then plays.
Wow, that's crazy.
So he takes Venmo, Cash App, and
Yeah, he does.
and cash.
Well, they have some really. I've seen the.
That was funny when he
things.
said, "You got cash? I got Venmo."
Yeah, no, everybody does now.
Yeah.
But I've seen like some really crazy things like in Washington Square Park, because I feel like that's like a
Culture.
college student thing to do.
There's a lot of culture in
Right.
Washington Square Park.
It's like such a young college kid to do. Like, oh, you're bored. Like, just like you don't know what to do in New
Go to
York. It's a
Washington Square
nice
Park.
day. Just go to Wash, and yeah, like
I didn't know they called it Wash.
Wash. Yeah, like oh, we're going
She's
to
at
Wash.
NYU, see, so she's giving him that NYU
Right.
lingo.
So like. That's what it is. Me and my friends will all go, and it's cute because I actually got this necklace, this cross was from Washington Square Park. Like I bought
Nice.
this part there, and it's actually surprisingly like never stained or like I don't know turned green yet. I've had it for almost a year. Like
So
I
it's
don't know.
good quality. It was good
I
quality.
spent $20 on it. Like
Nice.
but yeah, it's like so cool to go there. I feel like that's like a staple of New York, like Washington Square Park,
Yeah.
like the fountain. Now you probably guys see if you're on TikTok, like the what's popping guy that's like asking questions to everybody.
Yeah.
But I think the funniest thing about Washington Square Park is like how all the college kids go and they really try to wear like their best outfits in
take pictures.
hopes that watching New York comes and takes pictures of us, or like the what's popping guy comes and like asks us a couple questions
Yeah.
and it goes viral on TikTok.
So it's now because it's now a culture part in the sense of there's content being created around
there's
there.
so much content, and it's
That-
like I have to look cute at Washington Square Park because there's all these trendy kids around me. You don't know who's here.
Funny enough, I met a guy who travels the world. He does videos, but he does videos asking women out in the thing. And he told me that he says that whenever he announces that he's gonna go to a city, generally there's whoever watches him, they go to that area where he's gonna do it, and the women are generally dressed properly. And they say after the video, "I knew you were coming because I follow you, and that's why
Right.
I was ready."
Yeah.
I'm like, Okay.
It's like such a New York thing though, where
Yeah.
it's like you have to like people dress like nice all the time.
Yeah, we definitely.
But now because of like social media, it's like I have to dress nice because
I might come out in a video today.
I might come out in a video, or like somebody might stop me and ask for like outfit details. And now like people are making fun of it. I don't know if you've seen like TikToks of like people walking with their headphones in, and they're like, oh, like, excuse me, like, what song are you listening to? And they're like, Balenciaga shirt, pants Gucci, this, like.
You're answering the question wrong. You're
and
answering
they
the
just walk
question.
away because, like, that's like a thing. I've never gotten stopped by them. Unfortunately, my
Well, we
friends
can make
have.
a couple TikTok videos ourselves.
Right.
So what are you listening to?
Right.
Like me?
I'm like me.
Yeah, like me.
Like me.
So yeah, it's really cool, and like, you know, that's like you said, you've been to New York for such a young age. You've been able to immerse yourself in the culture. Even the Jonas Brothers, remember that they got picked up in New York.
Yeah.
So New York is, guys, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason I live in this city is because every time since I was a kid, I came when I was young, I saw the skyline.
Mm-hmm.
Every time my inspiration goes down, I feel out of whack, I take a drive through the Lincoln Tunnel.
Go to the city.
And I just look at that skyline,
Right.
go in the city, get $1 pizza, and I remember why I came to New York.
Right.
Well, $3 in this case.
$5.
Sorry, false advertising. $3 to $5
It's
pizza.
$5. That's what I think. That's what's the coolest thing about it, because you know I would take that drive into New York all the time, like as a kid, and like that's what it kind of represented to me. Like back home in my small town, nobody really like. Everybody kind of shut down my ideas, but like in New York, it was like, oh yeah, you want to do that? Cool. Like so does everybody else here. Like you can do it too.
Wow, if you get Empire State of Mind, if you can make it, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
It's the truth, because New York is so brutal. I think like what this year taught me is like it's wild because you really see how much people can take from it. And I know like both of the roommates that I had hated living there.
Oh yeah,
they wanted to leave as soon as possible.
Love
That first month that I lived there, so many people moved out. I remember seeing all the moving bins like every day. I love it too. It's just it is like
it's also for a type of blood too, right? Not everybody.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. So what happens is, right?
Yeah.
People watch YouTube, people watch Instagram,
and they glamorize it. Yeah.
They glamorize it, and then people come and they see the reality.
It's not glamorous.
It's not glamorous.
It's not.
But if you make it, it's beautiful.
Right.
But for that, you have to have a specific type of skin and blood.
Yeah.
Which you do.
Yeah. You got to like deal with a lot of
I don't know if you guys are picking up the theme that I'm giving here. Keep in mind, she's 19 years old, right? And since she was 5 years old, she's been trying to make it in the art world. Dancing, art, acting, and now singing. No kid at 5 years old till 19 does not like have their target in mind and keep going all the time. She has a great support system, but she also believes in herself. Because if she at some point would have said, I don't like this, I don't want to do this, it would have been respected, it would have been done. But you believe in your dream and you're following. That's why New York is sexy, even though it's ugly for other people.
Yeah. I think that's one of the craziest things about everything is like the first thing I feel like I really knew about myself was what I wanted to do for my career. And I feel like that's like weird in hindsight because nobody like, I don't think that's like, oh, like the first thing I know about myself is like, oh, like I don't know, like I'm fast or like, you know, I'm kind or I'm nice. It's like, no, I knew that I wanted to do this, you know, like just be a performer and sing and dance like for my entire life. It's never changed. It's never been like.
And you feel like you're part of it. Every bone in your body understands that when you're dancing, you're free.
I feel like it's just something that I was meant to do. Like it's, nice. I never had a choice. Like I never was like, like what would I want to do? It was just like, no, this is what I'm doing. Like from the start. I don't know why.
You didn't question yourself. You knew that this is what it is.
I just knew that I wanted to do that for like my entire life. It was just really the first thing I knew about myself. I don't know.
See, and that I applaud that for you. And because I got that when I was 25. At 25 was when I was able to say, I don't care what it takes. This is what I want.
Right.
I still don't know what I want.
Yeah, right. You just still don't, for real?
I really don't.
So congratulations.
That's what I'm saying. I feel
congratulations as a dad. you were able to achieve that. Your daughter does know what she wants.
Well, that's what.
And enable it too, because that's another thing. It's very important that your parents have put a lot of work to enable
100%.
your careers.
Because that's a special thing when somebody at a young age says, "This is what I want to do." Not that many people know what they want to do, and I think
Era Esteves manager.
and I think that's what's special. Like she knew what she wanted to do. We
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that we did everything we can as parents, and we maybe say something along the way. But it's a special thing because not many people get to experience.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, and that's great.
I have so many of these conversations with like my friends, like
Mm-hmm.
like all my friends that are my age are just like I don't know what I want to do with my life. Like they're like I'm 19.
My
like,
brother
it's my first
doesn't know.
year in college. Like
I'm arguing with him all the time.
right, and for me, like that's why people come to me and they're like, oh, you don't got to worry about it, sweetie. Like you're 19. Like it doesn't matter. Like blah 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 blah. And it's like no, like you don't understand. Like I've wanted to do this for 19 years. It's something that
It's hard for people to understand that.
yeah, because most people don't like. Most people never had that. Like they
Exactly.
never knew what they wanted to do, I guess, so early on. And that's why, like, growing up, people looked at me a certain way, or they were just, they gave me, like, it was a bad taste, left a bad taste in their mouth when I.
And I
told them what
applaud you
wanted
for
to
that,
do.
honestly, because, like you're saying, it takes a special skin and a person
Yeah.
to do that. Like I've been saying, sorry, I meant to say, it takes a special person to do that, and also, I want to. Somebody's going to be listening to this. You know, I believe in that. I believe that sometimes content goes out and someone needs to listen to something
Yeah.
motivational.
Yeah.
And like, if you're trying your dream, whatever that is, it will be dancing, it will be gaming, whatever you're doing, you have to put a lot of hours and a lot of work into it for it to work.
Yeah.
Right? And let's be honest. Like, you know, your music is in other platforms. Of course, we want millions of listens, right? But you don't
Right.
have millions of listens yet.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop you.
Yeah.
You
I had
could-
to get over that. Like, that's something that I feel like people, they don't see, like, that side of it. And I had to, like, get over the fact that, okay, like, for example, these are my first songs ever out, right? Most people, like, if I felt like if I had the choice, I don't know if I would have, like, necessarily released them. But because of the fact that, like, this is, like, money that, like, you know, it's expensive to make music.
Yeah.
And, like, we don't
It's an
have all the
investment.
money in the world.
Yeah.
So it's, like, if I'm going to put money towards it, I have to release it. Like, I have to
Yeah.
release it. There's no choice.
So wait, you're saying that you have
I kind of pushed myself to, because if I thought about it, I'm a perfectionist, right? I would have waited until
That's
I
my
felt
problem.
with a song that I really cared, like I really loved to release it. If I waited, like it would have taken a while for me to release any music.
That's my problem.
So
My problem with releasing my content is that I want it to be perfect.
right. So, but I had to learn that like it really is done better than perfect. Like if it's done, it's better than perfect. Like
So what I have learned, me personally, around the content, right, is that we live in a very fast society today.
yeah,
Back in the 90s, the 80s, people would literally buy an album, they'll keep it, and then they'll have it for years, and they'll listen to it. And if something was wrong, they'll be able to take it out at some point. So we can understand perfection at that time.
yeah,
But today, there's so much content. There's so much people. There's so much music coming out every day that if we worry and worry about every detail, we'll never be able to do it.
Ever. It's because we live in such a like consumerism like society. We live in such a
Fast pace.
Right now, like it's the craziest than ever. Like I was talking to music people, and it's like if you don't grab the listener within the first like 10 seconds of your
Yep.
song, they'll skip and they'll
Let's
never
skip
go
this one.
back.
Well, let's bring TikTok.
Because it's right. TikTok, like first of all, worse than TikTok was Vine. It was only 6 seconds.
Yep.
And like now everybody has the
That's
shortest.
why there's a lot of
attention
famous
spans.
kids there.
Right. But now that everybody has like the shortest attention spans
Mm-hmm.
in the entire world, and it's like now it translates to music. You have to have your song shorter now.
Tell me
you have
about
to
it.
catch people. If it's not catchy, like you're kind of screwed.
As an editor myself
Right.
of video content, if I don't have, it amazes me that I sometimes have to go into the content from the reels
yeah.
was trending, and I had to figure out how to fit a 15-second, 30-second video into 6 to 10 seconds because the reel that's going viral
Yeah, it's like 6 seconds.
is like 6 seconds.
Right.
So how is let's give an example. You're Eric Estevez or you or Juanito gonna engage with a 1 minute content that he took 15 seconds to explain the first part.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I had to retrain myself, honestly. Over the winter, I had to retrain myself to edit for the era of today. And what I've noticed is every year I have to do the same thing because time is evolving.
Keeps going. And it's like hard to navigate in the beginning, especially because I'm just learning how to make music. But all the music that I grew up with wasn't like that. It wasn't like, but now
songs were freaking the salsa songs were like a freaking 10 minutes long.
Were so long. and there was only X amount of people that can make music because there's only this amount of people that can be signed to a label, and it costs so much money to be in a studio. Not everybody has a computer, and this and that. And now
also
everybody has laptops.
Political shit played into it a lot. Where if I didn't like you, I didn't want you to have an album, you wouldn't have an album.
Well, that still happens regardless. Like that will always happen for forever in like the music industry.
That's why what you're doing, I admire and I applaud you. Where you're releasing your own music.
Yeah,
you have control of everything.
Yeah, that's something that. Going to like that program at NYU for music business like taught me a lot because I didn't know anything about music. Oh, okay. And something that was stressed so much to us that like I carried into like, you know, me releasing my music now is like, especially right now, it's like the best time to be an artist because everybody has access to laptops. You can make music on your own. You don't have to have thousands of dollars to spend on music and engineering and everything like that. You can do it on your own. It's more accessible. Mm-hmm. So if you create a platform on your own before a label comes to you,
you have control.
You have way more leverage to own your things.
Justin Bieber.
Right. Well,
Justin Bieber made a song with his guitar, Baby, Baby, Baby.
Yeah. Well, look at that. But like, for example, like think about like Taylor Swift. She like, and the whole thing that happened, like, you know, I would never want to be like go down that road where I can't own my music. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was like, I don't want to wait to like look for labels and then have them.
You're more educated too right now.
I'm more educated about the topic. So if I can, like, I would love to make who I want to be first before anybody else has their hands in the cookie jar and starts telling me what I can and can't do.
Let's go with Ozuna, right? Ozuna sold his music for an undisclosed amount, but everybody knows it's over $100 million. But he sold all the rights. No, he didn't sell all the rights. He sold the distribution of it. Okay. Which means that he's still making, on top of the money that Sony gave him. He still owns his music, though. Still owns his music. He's still getting money out of it.
Exactly.
Imagine if you get to that level where you can, your music goes, your catalog is worth that amount of money.
Yeah, well, because I can't, imagine putting like, because creative like things like that, they're not coming from like your head or like when you're doing other types of jobs, like, you know, you could just fill out paperwork. It's not really attached to you. Anything creative is like attached to you.
It's energy. It's your energy placed at a
like
something.
That's me. So it's like I could never fathom having anybody else own it. Like that's, you know, I can't think like that's literally me through like sound. I don't know, like
going back to, you know, what she mentioned, done is better than perfect, and I think
and you can remaster it as well. You can change up something. You can create a remix out of it. Look at El Alfa, right? A good example for us Dominicans is an Alfa. El Alfa used to do singles.
Right.
He didn't make his first album till like his 8th year in career.
Yeah.
He made singles, and look who El Alfa is today. In TikTok, he's and TikTok is going crazy right now.
Right.
But that took a lot of work, dedication.
So,
he's from the hood.
Yeah.
In DR. El Alfa. The hood, not the hood.
He's from the hood in DR. Yeah.
He got out of the hood in DR, and then he freaking got to Miami competing with international artists as an independent label.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to buy his career right now, they need to pay up.
Something I think is so funny about like just Dominican artists like him is the fact that they can really make songs out of anything. Anything. Like it doesn't matter what the chorus is. I always think about that. I'm like, yo, they can really make
La Mamá de la Mamá was, I think, one of the most creative songs I've found in my. Let me tell you why.
It's just so funny. Like it's crazy because it sounds good. Like you can really get down to it.
Look,
so.
It's a naughty song.
Yeah.
But it's with clean words.
Right.
La Mamá de la Mamá. It's not. the other part.
Yeah.
What happens is when he says it fast, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But and then he, of course, in the core in the first he
Right.
drops it real hard. But what I'm trying to say is Dominicans are freaking creative as hell.
Yeah.
I think that the problem with Dominicans is that they don't get the business side of it.
I feel like that's
Music
just
has a business side and it needs to live together.
a lot
which
of
is
people
why
don't
you
know the business side of it.
which is why it's good that you went to school. So see,
Right.
and to like, complete everything, because I have a couple questions for you, rapid questions that I want to ask, is like what I admire from you, and you're 19, I'm 29, about to be 30, is that you were actually able to build a music career from A, B, C, D. Let me explain. You went into performing arts, right? You were an actor, you were a dancer, and now you're starting to write music, but you're not writing music just to write. You're writing stories. You're writing things that identify with you.
Right.
Then you went to school to learn the music business. And then now everything you're doing with the right head. So you'll be able to continue building a great career. Like, imagine that.
That's the goal.
Imagine that.
That's the goal. It's funny because like I keep forgetting that like I don't know, like I think everybody kind of downplays their own success a lot in their heads, and that's definitely me. Because I have such big things that I want to achieve that I feel like sometimes like even the smallest things like don't feel like I'm really moving much.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I have, the music is newer to me in terms of like me actually releasing things, but like it's been within me for so long, and like sometimes I need to remember like you've done like the footing for it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, everybody's downplays their own success.
And that's good for you
like.
because, it is. I downplay my own success all the time.
Right.
But it's good for you because it's a mindset thing, right? So what's cool about that is you're tackling the next task before it arrives.
Yeah.
So
I'm always thinking about, okay, like I have this festival, but like, what am I going to do after? Like, that's like, I'm not like, oh yeah, like I did this festival, I can like chill.
And you're like chill and like somebody's going to call me.
Right. It's not like that. Like
you got to keep going.
I'm not even thinking of it as like that. I think like it sucked because my parents tell me this all the time and they're like, you're always so hard on yourself, but you have to like appreciate like what you just did and like take it in because I don't think I like really ever have. Like I'll do like something that's like good for me or my career and I'm like, okay, like what's...
You're looking at the thing is that you're not looking at this.
Yeah.
You're looking at
I'm
that.
just like, that was cool. And they're like, that was great. I'm like,
and that's what's amazing. Right? You have your eye on the goal and you're gonna achieve your goal because the way that you're doing the work, the way you're doing everything is to get to that point. And like tell me something else. Like what am I missing here that we haven't told people in the past 45 to 50 minutes?
I'm trying to think. Well, like I think right now, okay, like for example, so I've been dancing with this dance company for this past almost year. That was something that I kind of fell into like by accident. Again, I danced from 3 years old up into like 13 before I stopped because I really wanted to play sports for my last couple of years of high school. Cause I don't know, like not a lot of people know this, but I love sports. Like I've always loved sports.
What sports you played?
Soccer, basketball, and track and softball.
Wow.
So like
softball.
So like I would switch like every other season.
Because soccer and basketball, I understand that in track, but softball is a whole different body engineering.
You think so?
The way they remember in track
like
you're running.
They all like work out a different type of part of your body.
So softball is like the only one out of all those. I think softball and basketball are the ones that are like different type of training.
Right. I played soccer.
Which again, applaud to you because that's a mindset thing.
I love sports. Like in another life, I didn't. Like I always say this because I'm like, I never got like the traditional like school experience in America, like meaning like high school. I didn't have like pep rallies or any of that fun stuff because I was in a performing arts high school. It was just like honestly like victorious, like on crack. Like that's what it felt like.
Victorious on crack.
Like people would be singing in the hallways. Like I'm not even kidding. Like people were singing in their hallways, dancing like in classes. Like we were playing musicals throughout like the
high
hallways.
school music all the way to.
It really was like I was acting every day for 80 minutes in class in school, sometimes even like a full 160 minutes like every day. It was a lot. So I didn't have that. I came home like after school and played sports for my town high school. That's where I had the more normal high school experience. That's why I liked it too. But then even in college, I went to school in New York City. There's no campus. Everyone's doing their own things, so focused on themselves. So I didn't have like that traditional thing. And I do like wish, a part of me wishes like I could have done that. So in another life, I would have been playing soccer for like a college. Hopefully I would have went like D1 because I loved soccer. And yeah, I would say like I would have been like some girl that went to like UCLA to play soccer, or like University of Miami, and like lived that normal college life, like studying communications or something.
If Bad Bunny has taught us anything, is that everything's possible. Dude did the WWE this year.
Yo, I forgot about that.
So you could still be a professional soccer player.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do it now, but I did it. So yeah, I stopped dance for sports because I knew that I wasn't going to play in college because I wanted to pursue, my career in the arts, and I wasn't going to have time. So I did that. And then, so this past year, my goal was like, all right, I'm going to get back into dancing. I miss it. I love it. So I just did some drop-in classes, and like the first drop-in class that I went to was David Thomas's in Broadway Dance Center for hip hop. And I remember I was so nervous because that class was going so fast, and I was like, shit, I haven't danced in like 5 years. And then literally, I think on the second or third time I went to him, like he asked me to audition for his dance company.
Oh wow!
And I was like almost not gonna go. Like I was not about to go to the audition because I was like, why does he want me to go? I haven't danced in so long.
You felt like you weren't in the capacity, but they saw it. They saw the talent.
Yeah, and they tell me this story like now. They told me this maybe like a week ago, and they were like, we saw Angelyse and we were like, get her off the street. Like we need to take her under our wing before somebody else does, because of how like shady sometimes the entertainment industry is, and like there's bad people in it that like want to take girls that like have a dream and do things. So they were like, yeah, we wanted to make sure that you were going to be okay.
Yeah.
But I've been training with them for almost a year, and
didn't you have something in Florida with them?
I just went to Orlando like 2 weeks ago to go do like a showcase down there. And they're David and Nessa are actually helping me choreograph my own performance with my with dancers from my team.
Nice.
So it's cool because we have like that synergy that we've been working on for a year, and now I'm like bringing them to something
that
for
you're
me.
Doing.
And
how many performances you're gonna have in the event?
Well, in the event, it's 1 30-minute performance.
About how many performers?
Oh, there are gonna be 4 other dancers.
Nice.
So yesterday we were doing like rehearsal. It was so much fun. Like I'm so excited. Like it's coming out really well.
I feel it. And it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really nice. Yeah. And like we're here wrapping up. So before we go, what is your comfort food?
Okay, so my comfort food is definitely either mac and cheese or grilled cheese.
Really?
Yes, I eat like a little kid sometimes. Like that's my comfort food. Mac and cheese with like
the kids meal too?
Wait, no, Purdue chicken nuggets, like the frozen ones. Like you could just heat them up, and I love them. They're so good.
Are you remembering your childhood? Is that it?
I don't know. I've been in a phase with them. But wait, it's either that or grilled cheese with bacon and pickles with ranch.
Wait. A grilled cheese sandwich.
Yes.
With bacon.
Bacon, pickles, ranch.
That's an interesting sour combination.
Good. No. Like, I don't think, like, you understand. Like, any person I've put this sandwich on has been like, that's a good sandwich.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to meet up one of these days, and you're going to make that sandwich for us.
I'm not going to
so we can show it.
We got to get it from Melt Shop.
Where's Melt Shop?
Melt Shop is like, I don't know. They have it in the mall.
Cool. We'll take a drive, and we'll try it. We'll try it out. That's okay. What is your current playlist? I'm still shocked, by the way.
Okay, current playlist. I feel like that's so hard because what I do for my music is I'll just like songs like on Spotify and just shuffle my likes all the time.
Okay.
So like I was just listening to the new Brent Faiyaz album that came out like today. So that's probably new.
You're good at that because the last time we met, we were together. Not the last time. The first time we went to the studio together. Yeah. You were listening to the new Drake album, so as soon as they come out, you're on top of it.
Well, I'm like really on top of that. So yeah, the new Brent Faiyaz album, Drake, the new album, probably Rena's. I can never say her last name. Rina Sayayama. I don't know. Like
Sayoyama.
I don't know, but she's like a pop. Like she makes pop music. She's so good.
Nice.
Pink Panthers, Osuna, Karol G. I'm just like reading.
Karol G. I like that's what's it called? The one that came out. Baby can must.
She just mentioned she might bring out a little Karol G and Ozuna hits on stage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, but you're telling people.
I mean, they don't know. They got a lot of hits. You don't know which ones they are.
Yeah, but you know those twists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's wrong. What about the best place you visited?
I feel like that's so hard. I don't know. I haven't really vacationed that much. There's not like a place that like sticks out in mind. But I think best place I visited biasly, like New York. I don't know.
Really?
I love being in New York. Like I could just stay there and just chill there. That's my goal one day.
I want to get one of those high rise.
Oh yeah, like that's what I'm.
View.
I'm thinking that I want that too. I'm trying to live there.
Where I can wake up in the morning. Hey.
Yeah, I want to live in Soho.
Oh my god!
I love
Soho.
That's a great place to live in. Like I feel
there's a building that is, I don't remember the road name, but it's like I just see a window and I'm like, imagine standing right there, looking at the World Trade Center.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I said this before. I lived like 2 blocks away from the World Trade Center, so I would see the Freedom Tower every day.
Now I'm jealous.
That was so great. Like that was the best thing about dorming.
Now I'm jealous of you. What's your bucket list?
On my bucket list,
Give me 3 or 5 like top things.
Like, okay, because I think the only things that I have really on my bucket list are like only career related.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think
because you feel like your personal it's mixed with it. I was telling that to somebody.
People are always like, oh, you gotta separate like your job with your life, but like that's me. I never had that separation. Like I don't know.
When your job is like your life in the sense of this is your goal.
It's just who I am. Like exactly. I don't know. It's not like
It's fun. That's why it is.
It's because it's fun. So like my bucket list is definitely like to do like the Super Bowl halftime show, to like go on like world tour or like go to the Met Gala, like get interviewed by Eric Andre. I don't know if you've ever seen that show. He's not from E. He's like just like this funny comedian like interviewer. He's like really outrageous.
Maybe I seen him and just don't know by name.
Or getting interviewed by Nardwar. Like I don't know if you know who that is. So he's like another interviewer on YouTube. You should watch him.
Okay.
He's great. Going on Hot Ones, another interviewer on YouTube.
Yeah, Hot Ones I've seen every single episode.
Yeah, like I don't know. These are just.
I wouldn't be on it though. I would not be on it.
I feel like it's gonna be so much fun.
I will cry.
You guys know what EGOT is?
Oh,
The Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
The EGOT, yeah. Oh yeah. I want to be like what's like an EGOT award winner.
Wow.
That means
you have everyone.
Every role. Another goal is to be able to like.
Oh, look at The Weeknd, guys. The Weeknd wasn't that big of an artist 2014, 2013.
Yeah, and
he did the Super Bowl.
Right.
A couple years later.
Right.
So everything you're saying is possible.
I'm hoping, or like to go on to host SNL, to like,
that's a cool one.
Be able to
especially
over.
New York people, that SNL is SNL.
Right. Or being able to cross over back into Broadway, like eventually. Because I still love musicals. Like, I just knew that it's harder to cross over as like a actor on Broadway into film.
Music and film, right?
Music and film and TV. Then
it's easier to exactly. It's easier to go in it because you have popularity, so you're bringing an audience in.
Exactly.
And then the other way around, this audience doesn't go sometimes to this area. That's
what I'm saying. So I always wanted to transfer back and do like at least a show one time.
Club or lunch? I
don't like the club. Like I feel like. I don't know.
You can't talk.
No, it's not
That's what I feel. I feel like you can't. At 29, about to be 30, lived my life. Right. I feel like in a club, you can't freaking talk.
Well, yeah. Well, you can't talk, but I say lounge, or even more just like house party. Like I feel like I'm more of like a relaxed person. Mm-hmm. I'm not like most like college kids that like to drink. Like I don't like to drink like that. I don't know. I don't like going to clubs because you have to dress up and wear heels and like be in a short little dress. There's mostly like an older crowd, like in New York City, like the ones that I've been to. It's not as fun. Like I just like to be able to have my sneakers on and just have like shorts.
Relax
and
with your
jeans and
friends,
chill. Yeah, with my friends, like I'd rather that chill, like we're just together watching a movie than like going out and clubbing like
That's
that.
pretty cool. That at this age,
It's
I'm in the
so-
same spot.
It's so bad. Like, you know how like old I feel, and my friends are like, "Oh my god, let's go out," and I'm like, "No," and they're like, "You never want to go out," and I'm like, "I'm sorry." Like,
It's
I
not.
just
It's not
don't
something that.
feel like
yeah,
it. Like,
and like you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to do that because that's not part of your.
yeah, like I'll go and I'll have fun once in a while, but like my
Has to be a
friends
special
that
event.
my friends that party like every weekend, I don't have that
Jersey Shore,
energy.
people party like Jersey Shore style.
I mean, like not, yeah, kind of, yeah. I have a friend that does.
Can't do that.
I have a friend that I don't have the energy. Like I don't know where it went. Like I'm only 19. Like I don't know.
Well, you have a creative, so your mind is always creating. You know.
I
So
don't know why. Like I can't do it. Like I'm just like, damn, this must supposed to be my time to go out and party, and I don't have the energy to do it. Like
Well, when you get famous, you're gonna be the party.
hopefully,
gonna be the life of the
maybe I'll
party.
get that like
That energy back.
back, right?
So, what's your favorite movie?
No, like you can't do this.
Give me
to
two. One that you watch like 20 times a year. Not Home Alone, because everybody was forced to watch that before.
These are like the worst ones, though. Okay, I feel like.
Which one do you go on Netflix and you're like, you see it, it pops up, it
Okay, if you want to
suggests
talk about comfort movie, like
Okay.
movies that I can watch forever.
Not what we talked about in the studio where you guys watch this.
Oh, I do like those movies. I do like
I
those
know,
weird
but
movies.
that suspense thing.
Because I grew up with Tim Burton. Like, that's why I like weird movies. But, like, comfort movies that I can watch forever and forever and never get tired of them is 100% Mean Girls
Okay.
and Clueless.
You
And,
know, I like white chicks.
White Chicks, 10 Things I Hate About You. I think I've watched those movies so many times.
Yeah?
So, like, Clueless and Mean Girls mostly, though. Like, I think I've watched them maybe, like, 50 times in total.
That's cool.
I've watched them so much.
Because you like those genres.
Those are just, like, the great 2000 movies. Like,
Yeah.
Those are the best ones.
Funniest person in the planet.
Mm.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know. I can't. Okay, funniest person on the planet.
Kevin Hart. I'm just kidding. Kevin Hart is the best setup jokes. He has the best writers. But for me, the funniest guy is he's not even famous anymore. It's the guy with the puppets. What was his name?
I used to be obsessed with him. You know the one with like
The terrorist.
yes.
Him
Remember him?
and Dan Cook. For me, those are the two funniest guys. They're not even around that much anymore.
The first comedians I was aware
And
of.
then
was the
if I
puppet
had to
guy.
put it on third place,
And Jim Gaffigan, I
the
used
guy
to like
from
him.
Family Guy, that does all the voices.
Oh. I don't have a
Since
most
today.
I think I like weird humor though. So like I like that Eric Andre stuff. I like Rick and Morty. I like
sarcasm and humor. I love that shit.
I like
Oh, you know
Mr.
who I like a lot
Pickles?
right now?
Miss
Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz. I don't know.
He's really good.
Have you seen Mr. Pickles?
Probably. The thing, I'm bad with names. So
It's like a cartoon show, but it's really weird. If you don't remember, you probably have never seen it because it's
Okay.
weird.
Okay, so yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. I like really absurd, like weird.
I remember scaring her with the Pan's Labyrinth. The movie was a great movie.
Oh, that was terrifying. I don't know why he did that to me.
It was freak, and then she went on a rampage, and she likes to start liking weird movies after that.
Yeah, they got me.
That was the turning point, and that was the moment he
Yeah,
knew.
because then I was watching like. I was obsessed with Gremlins and Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice at such a young age. Like,
Beetlejuice.
those
was a
were my
great movie.
favorite movies when I was little. So then now I have a weird music, movie
And the
taste.
Scissors guy.
The Edward Scissorhands, yeah, like I like those weird movies.
I remember
just
when
so
I
much
watched that
better.
when I was what?
That's a Christmas movie, by the way.
I know.
Yeah, I was like
because
3.
He's decorating a tree.
Yeah, I was like 3 or 4 watching those movies. Like I used to love them.
When were you born?
2003.
2003. When I watched the Scissors movie, that's a 1998 movie though, right? Like
Yeah,
in
that's like came
it
out before
wasn't.
me.
It was yeah. It was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember watching it when I was. So my family and I had a pizza Sunday. So every Sunday
Oh,
we will order, and that's a luxury in DR. Remember, we will order pizza and watch a movie.
Yeah.
So that was one of the movies that my dad put me to watch too.
That's
So, but I was 8,
Yeah.
9 years old at that
Yeah.
time.
I would watch those movies on top of like all the Disney movies because I was a big Disney fan too.
And when I went to high school, every night, You know how Disney at 8:00 puts a movie?
Oh,
Princess Diaries.
Oh, Princess Diaries.
Yeah,
No.
what's it?
Camp Rock.
Fucking look around.
Camp Rock. No way.
High School Musical. I
Of
love
course.
every High School Musical. Together.
Forever.
Disney movie, so she used to have all the VHS, and then we graduated to DVD. So anytime a movie came out, we went and bought the movie first. She had a big collection.
I was obsessed. Like I wanted to be Princess
Freaky
Jasmine.
Friday.
Freaky Friday.
Remember the one, the twins that were magic? Which one was the name of that movie? I forgot the name. They're
Oh,
forgot the name.
I don't know.
And then I used to watch. So that was done right at 10:00. Then I would go to Nick at Night.
And you watched George Lopez?
George Lopez.
Me too, because I couldn't sleep when I was little. I had a little princess room, a princess TV in my room, and I used to have the worst nightmares. So I would just turn on the TV and be George Lopez, and I would just watch him jumping on that trampoline, and he jumped on that tree.
My
Yeah.
God. Yeah, the little
But
fucking love it.
my Disney Channel
I would
era-
never get that back.
My Disney Channel, I actually forgot. Like my first artist that I was obsessed with wasn't Ariana Grande. It was Selena Gomez because
Because she was
I
in
watched
Disney.
Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yep.
I loved Wizards of Waverly Place.
My brother used to love it. I didn't like it that much. I watched it because he watched it, but yeah, I remember.
I
that.
wanted to be Selena Gomez, and then we saw her when she was Selena Gomez in the scene, and she was with the band, and she was super tiny artist who went to a small venue in Philly to see her, and then a couple years later is when she became Selena Gomez.
Imagine that.
So we saw her like really early on.
So you always been catching this artist early on.
Yeah, you know.
What about iCarly?
Oh, loved iCarly. I loved Sam. Sam was my favorite character.
Yeah, he was.
No,
she
the
was,
girl.
She yeah. She was because she didn't play around with
The
nobody.
The one that would beat him up with a butter sock.
What was the name of the kid?
Freddie.
Freddie.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting confused with Sam. But yeah,
Freddie.
it was fun.
Yeah.
So, Angelyse, thank you so much for being in the podcast. You know, it was a pleasure interviewing you. My first artist interview. Yay. I've interviewed real estate people. I've interviewed people in the movie world, but I have never interviewed an artist. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yay. Thank you.
So anything you want to leave for your current fans that are watching this video?
So let me plug myself real quick. So, follow me on Instagram, on all the social medias. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music under Angelyse Mariah, Angel YSE Mariah, like Mariah Carey.
Thank you guys for being in this show. See you later.